It's a part of syllabus, not discussed in much of advanced books. But if you look at the NCERT book, I think we'll follow NCERT book only, how syllabus means advanced. Spark plug exclusive, they've discussed here. Theoretical discussion is there, not with any much of the questions. So possibility of asking in mains advanced. Now first, this is the, it's a practical inductor. Don't take it to be like that one. So let it be a practical inductor only. Now first I'll close the switch. At steady state, the switch is opened. What is the condition? At steady state, the switch S is opened. So initially, so when I close this switch, let me continue with the problem. A current will be flowing here. Let me call some I naught or something. So because of that, there'll be a magnetic field energy. So how much of energy that? Half L I naught square by 2. Then at steady state, so this having energy now. This having energy. At steady state, I'll open the switch. So what is a spark plug? It's like a conductor. I think you might have seen bike. When it will not start, no, then what we do, we'll just open that all the deck, then we'll get a spark plug. There what happen, we will rub this layer, no, because any carbon deposited, it will become insulated. So for that purpose we'll clean this. After cleaning this, what happen again, when you do for 1 or 2 3 kicks, what happen, it will start. So spark plug, what happen, for every 2 3 months it should be cleaned here, so that what happen, the ignition problem will not be there, or it may get damaged sometimes, or if any carbon deposited in this region, no, it will not, the bike will not start. So next time when you go for any bike repair service, no, do make observation, something related to your future professional life. So spark plug, how do it will work? So where do we use? For all ignitions, if I want to start a vehicle, I must use this RL circuit, otherwise not possible. Here I think some of you are getting confusion, so let me take R, no problem. No, suddenly I'll open the switch and there's a gap, hair gap. Listen for me first. What is the spark plug? First listen to me. It's an instrument which is designed like this. So here what a gap will be there. A gap will be there. So here, so the equivalent circuit, if you find very difficult, so just equivalent circuit will be like this. In books, I think they're given like this. Practically, they may trouble you with such a diagram. That's why I just introduced. There's a air gap. Now, what all the energy in the coil now? So what will happen to this energy in the inductor? This air gap, or say this gap here open, will not provide for the continuity, no? Because the inductor, what happen? The moment you open the switch, the inductor, what happen? It wants to decay, that one exponential, or say decay of current should occur. It wants to give out all its energy through the circuit to the resistor R. But this gap, what will not permit for the current to flow, no? So what will happen to the inductor? Will it retain that magnetic field energy? No, because there won't be EMF to support current. The moment you open switch, then there won't be current to support this magnetic field. So what happened to magnetic field? Magnetic field starts collapsing. Magnetic field starts collapsing means rate of change of flux non-zero, or flux varies. EMF will induced. Due to EMF induced, a current will flow, but this gap here, open circuit, will not permit current to flow. So what this inductor, it will try its level best to push the current. So for that purpose, what it will do, the flux will vary at a rate such a way that it will produce a very large potential difference across it, equal to L di by dt or E equal to d phi by dt. The rate of change of flux is such that very large potential difference is set up. Because of large potential difference here, what all large potential difference developed across inductor, that will be developed across this air gap. And here what is air? Air is an insulator. There's some maximum permitted electric field the air can withstand. Breakdown, go back to breakdown. So what happened to air here now? The breakdown will occur, and because of that what will happen here is what all the energy in the inductor within milliseconds, within 3 milliseconds, here what will happen because of breakdown, uh, what all that energy is there of the inductor and the breakdown what it occurs, that everything will become electromagnetic wave. And what do we get? We get here a spark. EM wave will get it. I'll take it out here. Yeah. Sudden burst of light energy will come, and that particular thing is used to burn, because the vehicle will start when it will start when it is having petrol, oxygen, and some ignition, no? Like you go to LPG stove, you have to ignite, no? The same thing, the petrol should be burned. For that what happen, I should have a spark, that one I should have some sort of light energy. The fire is needed. So that particular spark what we get is like a shock, what you get electric shock, no? Like that. Or when you throw a stone against some big stone in the night, you'll get some sort of light energy, no? Fire. The same thing is what is needed here. So then the petrol will be burnt, the engine will begin. So what is the basic idea? Suddenly when at steady state, when switch S is opened, at steady state when switch S is open, then the inductor wants to decay or wants to discharge, better decay, if you are finding the inductor wants to discharge, so it will try to discharge through the resistor, but here open it will see air gap. In order to push the current through the air gap, the rate of change of flux will be so high that the EMF induced will be very large. Means will it be, sir, 10 volt? What is EMF? 10 volt. How much here EMF will? Maybe 800, maybe 500 volt, maybe 1000 volt. It all depends on condition. Depends upon the coil also. So very large voltage is produced, some order of say like a few hundreds or few thousands, because of large potential difference. Here the air breakdown will occur, and all of a sudden what will get a light energy, EM wave will be generated, and that is nothing but this EM wave will be utilized to burn the petrol, and the vehicle will start. So where do we use this spark plug? In the ignition of the vehicles, cars, four-wheelers, two-wheelers, anything, no? There's a only method available for us. How to start the vehicle? There's a method. Either you take diesel, petrol, or LPG gas or CNG gas, whatever be that. The gas should be ignited, no? The fuel should be ignited. To ignite it, we need a spark, that one. That spark is generated by this plug. That's why it is called a spark plug. That one. So next time when you visit the vehicle repair shop, you should be alert in watching this particular thing. So there's a air gap where it will be generated. The spark will be generated here. From here, what happen? What all we get? We'll get a this particular thing. What happen here? A petrol will be this one. This will be lead to petrol, and other will lead to oxygen. Let's not bother about construction of spark plug. This spark what happen will burn the fuel, and continuously what happen once the fuel is burnt, no, you need not to start vehicle again and again, no. You need to start vehicle again. Once you start it, so no. Once fuel is burnt, continuous process will be going on. Tell me, what is this E? What is this E? From where I should bring this E for this battery, no? In the cars, Exide, something very good batteries are there, no? Exide battery, that one. So this is the battery. If this battery is weak, what will happen? It cannot provide a flux to the inductor, and sufficient spark will not be there, no? And it may not start. So this is that battery is needed here. Did it? So here I will put it like this. Spark, or suddenly it will generate it within some 4 milli, 3 milliseconds is enough. And within 2 milliseconds, this will vanish because all the energy of the across the inductor will convert it into EM wave in this gap. Any general questions can also be asked here. Now come for this one. Related to this is asking some questions. Let me magnify it. What would be the let me write here because this they may ask you this VL will be very much greater than E. The potential difference, any reason for that, rate of change of flux will be very high. The flux across the inductor collapses rapidly. Because of that, large EMF is induced. Related to that particular situation is asking no. You can see gap here S. When there will be spark will be generated or not. Spark will not be generated in inductor coil. I'll where the spark will be generated in the air gap. Spark is not in inductor. Getting no, not in inductor. Nothing will happen to inductor. The flux across the inductor will collapse rapidly so that